I'm here tonight for one main reason: to say thank you to the incredible people of Michigan. Incredible. You went out and pounded the pavement, organized your fellow citizens, and propelled to victory a grassroots movement, the likes of which actually, the world, we don't just have to say the country, the world has never seen. And now we're going to bring back your jobs. We're going to bring back your jobs. I also want to give a very special thank you to our veterans who have been so incredible to me and to you, our service members and our military families. Boy, did we get their votes. Thank you. Big numbers. America's men and women in uniform are the finest and bravest the world has ever known, as far as I'm concerned. So to all who have worn the uniform, I say right now, on behalf of all of us, thank you. Thank you very much. Great people. We're in your debt, and we will never, ever let you down, believe me. And you'll see that with the vets, because we're going to take care of our vets. We are going to honor your service and sacrifice, and that begins with respecting the American flag. We're going to respect the American flag. That's the flag that our soldiers fought and died for, and we're going to protect it. You'll see we're going to protect it. One man who understands the meaning of service is General Mad Dog Mattis. Earlier this week, I formally announced my plans to nominate him as your new Secretary of Defense. And everybody's happy about that. Even the Democrats are loving him. Isn't that nice? What can you say? He's got some record, let me tell you. Got a record of winning. That's what we want. We want to win. You know, when he had to do battle, whether he agreed with it or not, but when he had to do battle, he won, and he won fast. And there were no games. There was no games. So he's going to be great, Secretary of Defense. I believe we're in the process of putting together one of the great cabinets that has ever been assembled in our nation's history, and you're seeing that. And you'll be seeing some more names coming out next week that are phenomenal. One of the most critical issues we will have to tackle is education. You know about that. You know what I'm about to say. America spends more on education than any country, by far, and yet our results are terrible. We spend more per pupil than any nation in the world by far. And you look at Sweden and Denmark and Norway and China and Japan, and they're all at the top. And you look at us, spending much more per pupil, and we're down at the bottom. We're going to change that. We're going to reform our broken education system to put students and families first. So importantly, this includes providing great education to students living in our inner cities. You know, I talk about the forgotten man, the forgotten women. Well, let me tell you, they're not so forgotten anymore, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. They're trying to figure out, they're still trying to figure it out, the media. Where did all these millions of people come from? I knew they were there. They just never had the incentive to go out and say, I like this person. But boy, did they come out in big, big league numbers. Our reform plan includes eliminating Common Core, bringing education local, and providing school choice. We want every child, every single child, low income, we don't care where they are, where they live, every child in America to be able to attend the public, private, charter, magnet, or religious school that is right for them. Choice. The person I have selected to lead the Department of Education, in my opinion, one of my most important decisions, is a native of Michigan, of all places, Michigan. And considered by everybody to be one of the top education reformers in our nation. Someone totally respected, someone devoted and devoting decades to helping disadvantaged students. I am thrilled now to welcome to the stage your next Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. Come up, Betsy.
Thank you, Mr. President-elect. What an amazing leader. West Michigan, aren't we proud of President-elect Trump? You know, the so-called experts didn't think we could win it, but we did. We believed in President-elect Trump, and we went to the polls and changed the world. It's an amazing thing what can happen when someone believes in you. And nowhere is that more true than in our schools and in the lives of our kids. I am so excited and humbled to be nominated as Secretary of Education. And in deference to the U.S. Senate confirmation, I'm not giving interviews, but just between us, let me share this. It's time to make education great again in this country. This means putting kids first every single day. This means expanding choices and options to give every child the opportunity for a quality education regardless of their zip code or their family circumstances. This means letting states set their own high standards and finally putting an end to the federalized Common Core. For me, it's simple. I trust parents, and I believe in our children. But it won't be Washington, D.C. that unlocks that potential. It won't be a giant bureaucracy or a federal department. Nope. The answer isn't bigger government. The answer is local control, it's listening to parents, and it's giving more choices. And if I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed as your Secretary of Education, our kids, your kids, will have someone fighting for them every single day. I've been involved with education issues for 28 years as an activist, a citizen volunteer, and an advocate for children. I have the experience, the passion, and the know-how to make change happen. Still, there are many of you here, and many in the media, the Senate, and the education community who may not know me. In fact, there is a lot of false news out there. To you, all I ask for is an open mind and the opportunity to share my heart. Together, let's make education great again. So let me repeat. There's a lot of false news out there. All I ask for is an open mind and the opportunity to share my heart. Together, let's make education great again, and let's win for kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Betsy. Is Michigan proud of Betsy? Yes. And you're going to be even more proud as time goes by. She's going to do an incredible job. And with Betsy at our side, I know we will make great strides in fixing our broken schools all over the country. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. So just hold on and watch, because she'll do it, I have no doubt. But to accomplish our goals for this country, government must stop listening to the special interests and start delivering for the national interest and for the people. Have to. It's time to deliver for you, the American people. Our plan begins with bold reforms to create millions and millions of great paying jobs. Whether it's building cars, producing steel, or curing disease, we want the next generation of innovation and production to happen right here in America and right here in Michigan. And you know, so I won Michigan. And Michigan hasn't been won for many, many years, long time ago. And I felt I was going to win it. You know when I felt I was actually going to win the whole thing? So I didn't have Michigan on our list of stops for that final day. And I did the speeches. I did 6 of them. It's a lot. I did 3 a day for a month. And these were big speeches. And we didn't need any entertainers to come and entertain. We needed no entertainers. Nope, we didn't need anybody. We had packed houses, thousands and thousands. But at the last moment, I said, 9 o'clock in the evening, let's go to Michigan, okay? Right? Because I heard my opponent had scheduled Michigan unexpectedly. It was like all of a sudden, with President Obama and Michelle and Bill and Hillary, and they were going to Michigan. No, it's okay. No, forget it. That plays great before the election. No, we don't care, right? But I said, let's go to Michigan. And some of you, I see some faces, some of you were here. And tell me. So we had, between inside and outside, we had 31,000 people. And I started speaking at almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So now it was election day, right? Because now it was Tuesday. I left on Monday. By the time we got here, it was almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We had 31,000 people at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I said, we are going to win Michigan. I felt it. I said, how does somebody else win it? And we did. And by the way, I heard a half an hour ago the courts ruled we totally won it. It's over. Not that we care about that. That was just a way of somebody trying to raise some money for themselves, because they weren't very successful during the race, that I can tell you. But the courts, we had great people. And Rana and the whole group. You spoke very well. I was very impressed with you. She didn't sleep for about 6 months, I will tell you that. But what a, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, right? Merry Christmas. That's right. They reminded me. We're going to start saying Merry Christmas again. How about all those department stores? They have the bells, and they have the red walls, and they have the snow, but they don't have Merry Christmas. I think they're going to start putting up Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. That's very good. That's very... That's a big group of people that said that. So I just want to congratulate everybody, because really it was that evening, which turned out to be election morning. And I got home at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I said to my wife, I said, you know, honestly, I don't see how we're going to lose. How are we going to lose? And we did phenomenally in Michigan, and then we won Wisconsin. We won Wisconsin. And of course, we won Pennsylvania. Did you see the look in their face? You know, it started with Ohio, that we won by almost 9 points, which was much more. We were expected to win Ohio, and we didn't have any support there, I have to tell you, except for the people. The people were our support. But we were expected to do well in Ohio, win by 3 points. Well, we won by 9. And then Iowa came in, and we won by more than 10. And we won almost every single county in Iowa. And we won one county that hadn't been won since 1952. That's a long time. And by the way, the governor of Iowa, who has a great relationship because they sell so much product to China, Governor Terry Branstad was just made the ambassador to China. That's called a good move. He likes China, they like him. That's a good move. He's going to be fantastic. So what happened on that evening was incredible. The ESPN people and so many other people said that may be the greatest single sporting event we've ever seen. So it started with Ohio and Iowa. It also started, remember, they said Texas is in play, remember? Now, Texas is not supposed to be, if you're a Republican, you're supposed to win. And for 2 months, we've all been hearing Texas is in play. And we heard Georgia is in play. And I said, man, we're in trouble. If Georgia's in play and Texas, you know, I sort of like you tend to believe these people, even though... Right? So the polls open and close, and now we go live on television with the numbers. And we got lousy exit polls, right? The exit polls, in fact, I got a call from Ivanka, and she said, Dad, it's not looking good. It was like 5 o'clock, you know, the exit polls. It doesn't help, fellas. You don't have to give bad exit polls. In 2 hours, you're going to know. They didn't have to do that. She said, it's not looking good, Dad. Those exit polls are not looking good. And, you know, they'd put bad questions in the exit polls. They'd say, like, many people say Donald Trump is a very, very bad person. Do you agree that he's a horrible human being? Yes or no? And the people go, yeah, I guess. Boom. So, you know, so we go out, and immediately the election's over. That was a Bernie fan. No, the election ended 3 weeks ago, darling. Someday soon, she will be on our side. You watch. So, it was so exciting, though. So I get these horrible calls. I get a couple of them but Ivanka said, Dad, I'll tell you, you've really worked hard. I said, you know what, Ivanka? As bad as it may be, I don't feel, you know, like in a football team, I left nothing on the field, right? I left nothing on the field. All right, get him out of here. Where do these people come from? Where do they come from? Unbelievable. Is there anything better or safer than a Trump rally, right? You ever get that? It's your rally. I'm telling you, it's a movement like they've never seen before. Look at this. I mean, the election's over. Look at this place. It's packed right to the corners. I wish the cameras would show it. They never do. They never do. A big room. This is a big place. This is a big, big place. Every place is packed right to the rafters. They never show it. They never, ever show it. But that's okay. But they hear it. You know, they'll never show it. They never do. But you know what I do, what I say? They hear it. Because there's a big difference between a massive crowd like this and having like 250 people in a room, right? Big, big difference. So people say, we never saw the crowd, but man, that sounded like Michigan or Michigan State, right? Which do we like? I won't say it sounded like Ohio State. We'll say it at that, right? But, so the polls close, and they go live. Now, I'm hearing that Texas is close, so I'm saying, but I'm getting all these horrible calls from my kids, from Jared, from everybody. Too bad, Dad, because they had me written off, right? They said, no, the polls. And I said to Ivanka, you know, honey, I may have lost. Because I really, you know, based on what they were saying, it was sort of like going to be it was going to be an early evening. They didn't realize it was going to be an early evening for us. And even though they refused to call it, it should have been an early evening, but they just refused. But I said, but I left nothing out there. I felt so good because, again, I was getting this news which really sounded like it was sort of over. And I said, it's like a team. I left nothing out there. I couldn't have worked harder. I couldn't have worked harder. That month, we outworked anybody that ever ran for office, all right? Nobody ever ran for office that worked harder. So I was okay with it, you know. I was okay. I wouldn't say I was great. I wouldn't say I was thrilled, but I was okay. And then the polls closed, and now we get the real numbers. And that's when Ohio came in. And that's when, I love Ohio. They were so great. I know you guys have a little competition, but that's all right. But they were so good. And that's when Iowa came in. 10 points, that never happens. All these counties won almost every single county and won the ones that weren't won by till the 50s, since the 50s. And then I hear these states that were in play. Texas. We have breaking news. Donald Trump has won the state of Texas. And I couldn't understand it because when I went to Texas, we had these massive auditoriums and these stadiums that were packed with people. Lines that were 20 blocks long. You couldn't get in. Thousands of people left outside. So I won Texas. But they said it was going to be close, and it was a landslide. Then they have another one. Georgia was going to be, again, they use the word in play. In play means that, you know, it's going to, go either way. Donald Trump, breaking news. Donald Trump has won the state of Georgia. Right? This is like in the first 2 seconds. You know, this is the one that they're saying for 2 months. Oh, Georgia's in play. Texas. Okay, so that's done. Great states. Then they had this character that nobody ever heard of before from Utah. I love Utah. And they had him like tied with me and beating Hillary. And I said, who the hell is this guy? And as a Republican, you never lose Utah. It's like, you know, hate to say it, but, you know, I don't think has anyone ever lost Utah? So they said, Utah's in play for months. And they talked about this guy. And, I mean, I looked at him. I said, is he going to beat me, that guy? Where does he come from? Who is he? Who is he? what's he doing? If he wins, we louse up the Supreme Court of the United States. What's he doing, this guy? Anyway, so then right after Texas, it said, breaking news, Donald Trump has won the state of Utah. Like what? By 25 points. And by the way, in all fairness, Hillary came in second, and this guy that nobody ever heard of, he fell off the planet. So we won all these states. But then, and a certain person said to me, very important person, who I actually got along with very well, said, when did you think you won? And I said, no, when did you think that you guys lost? And they said, well, Florida was looking okay. And all of a sudden, but they hadn't counted on the panhandle. That panhandle, boy, what was that, like 91% or something? Those are great people, workers. And we were doing well in Florida, and they weren't liking those numbers because we were like even. We hadn't gotten to the panhandle. And all of a sudden, breaking news, Donald Trump has won the state of Florida by a lot. And then we just went right up that coastline, right? We won South Carolina. And then a big one, because they put all of their eggs in the one basket. And they said, they were interviewing people on television from the other side, you just lost Florida. I said, well, we're a little disappointed, but we have no problem because North Carolina is our firewall. He can't win North Carolina. Can't happen. 2 minutes later, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has won the state of North Carolina. Big league, big. We won it big. And, you know, I knew they had problems because they took the convention center, and I just took a ballroom. You know, if I lost, I don't want a big room. I just want to say, thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time. I'm out of here. I don't want to have. But they spent like $7 million on fireworks in the East River. So they had the ballroom, and they spent a tremendous millions and millions on this massive fireworks display of the big barges in the river. And that was about a month before the election. But 3 days before the election, they canceled the fireworks. I said, that's a good signal. I said, is it supposed to be inclement weather? And we checked, and they said, no, actually, it's going to be beautiful. It's a beautiful night. I said, why did they cancel the fireworks? And they were in for a lot, like $7 million. Because they raised, I think they spent $2.2 billion. You know, I get no credit for this. They spent $2.2 billion. What do we spend? Like a little more than $300 million. Mr. DeVos will tell you, Mr. DeVos Sr. will tell you, too, that, you know, in the old days, you get credit if you spent less. Today, they'd say, and they used to say, she spent more money. He's up by 1 point, right? She spent more money, like it's good. No, it's bad. If you can spend less money and win, that's good. We got to remember, it's good, not bad. So when I heard they spent $7 million on the fireworks, and I didn't know if we were going to win or lose, but I was feeling really good. So we sent them over just a nice verbal statement. We will offer you 5 cents on the dollar for the fireworks, right? Because it was only a few days ago. They never responded. I thought I could buy the fireworks cheap. Just like I don't want to buy an airplane for $4 billion, okay? I don't want to buy it. Even if I don't get to use it, who the hell cares, right? I'm not paying $4 billion for an airplane. So we had an amazing night. Thank you. They forgot about you people. By the way, in 4 years, they're not going to forget, but it's not going to work. Because you're not going to forget. But so we just went up, and it was amazing. And then on top of it, we won Michigan, which these folks have done such an unbelievable job. Ronna McDaniels. What a great job. You and your people have done an incredible job. And then we won Wisconsin, which was so incredible. Because that one, you know, we weren't expecting necessarily. And it came in, they're incredible people, hardworking, wonderful people. So, and it was over. It was an amazing experience. And winning Pennsylvania, you know, Pennsylvania, for 38 years, they didn't win it. And it was always the one that got away. Every Republican said, we're going to win Pennsylvania. And it never happened. They say the bride that got away, right? It never, ever happened. Everybody said they're going to win it. And not only did they not win it, they lost it big. So I felt so good in Pennsylvania. Every time we would have these massive crowds, signs on everybody's lawn, you know, the Trump-Pence sign. By the way, how good is Governor Mike Pence, soon to be Vice President Mike Pence? How good is he? What a good choice. What a good choice. He's been great. He is a great guy, but I want to just say thank you to Mike Pence. He's been amazing. So it's been an incredible experience, I must say. But Pennsylvania, when we won that was, you know. Now, they could have called it around 12 o'clock or 11:30 or 11. And remember the screen? Remember the states? And boy, the red was starting to get big. Boy, that was getting to be really a lot of red. Remember when they were saying at the beginning before the night, there is no path to 270. And you know the amazing thing about the Electoral College is that you stop at all these states. I was going all over the place. I was stopping at states. And in many ways, I'd rather have it the other way. It's easier. You campaign in New York and you campaign in California. You stop in Florida and Texas. And it's so, you know, be easy. But this does get you. I was never as much a fan. This gets you to stop at states that you're not going to stop in. And that's what our founders had in mind, and that's what people had in mind. It's an amazing thing. It really is. I went to Maine 4 times. 4 times to Maine. For one. I needed one. Because they all said, maybe I could get to 269. They didn't know that we were going to break that beautiful, beautiful blue wall. We're going to shatter that wall. So nobody. So I went to Maine 4 times for one. Now, under the other system, you wouldn't do that. So it was an amazing evening. We ended up with 306, and which was a landslide. And some states we won by 30 and 40 points throughout, and it was just an amazing thing. And I can tell you, we're going to work really, really hard for you. We're going to work really hard to justify what you did. And so we're doing our little tour. And one of the places I had to stop is Michigan. And we're going to bring our Michigan jobs and Michigan workers back to work. We're going to bring them back to work. And I've been here many times, and even before I was running, before I officially announced, I didn't know if I was running. And I got an award about 4 years ago, the Man of the Year. And I talked about the cars. They can't keep taking your car manufacturers, Ford and the others. They can't keep taking them out. And I was talking about it long before I ever thought I was going to do this. And the people in Michigan remembered, I've been talking about this for years, we're going to stop it. And Ford's made a promise to me, and hopefully at the beginning of the year they're going to honor that promise about something they're going to do that's very big. And they're going to do it in Michigan, not in Mexico. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So we want to thank you. But on taxes, we're going to undertake one of the great tax reforms and simplifications in American history. At the center of this plan is a massive middle-class tax cut. Middle-class tax cut. We're also going to lower our business tax rate from 35% all the way down to 15%, bringing new companies to our country and to your state. So we go from the highest taxed nation in the world to one of the lowest. Not the lowest yet, but okay, don't get greedy, okay? But to one of the lowest. On regulations, we're going to eliminate wasteful, job-killing regulations that undermine the ability of our workers and our companies to compete with the rest of the world. Big thing. Bigger than the taxes. I think it's bigger than the taxes. On energy, we will cancel the restrictions on the production of American energy, including shale, oil, natural gas, and clean coal. We're going to put our miners back to work. Miners, we love our miners. Wyoming, I think it was my highest percentage. The opponent almost didn't register in the state of Wyoming. Almost didn't register in the state of West Virginia, which we love. We love our miners. On infrastructure, I will ask Congress to pass legislation that produces $1 trillion of new investment in America's crumbling infrastructure. That includes major new projects for both our rural communities and our inner cities. And our inner cities are like the forgotten man and the forgotten woman. We've forgotten about our inner cities. No longer. And the African American community was great to us. They came through big league. Big league. And frankly, if they had any doubt, they didn't vote. And that was almost as good because a lot of people didn't show up because they felt good about me. And the Hispanic community, great. Great. Really great. And women, thank goodness, women. Oh, man. Women. The women. That was the other thing with the polls. It's like, I'd go to these rallies and they had the pink signs all over the place going crazy. We did great with women, so I want to thank the women. So we're going to put our people back to work. It's time to help get Americans off of welfare rolls and back into the labor market. We're going to do that. Rebuilding our country with American hands and American workers. And they're going to be so thrilled. They're going to make so much more money than they've ever made. And they're going to love getting up in the morning, and they're going to love what they do. My administration will follow two simple rules: buy American and hire American. Because from now on, it's going to be America first. America first. Our trade deficit is now nearly $800 billion a year. Can you believe that? Any business people in the room? Raise your hand. Do you think you could do slightly better than that? I think so. It's a chronic drag on growth, and it's a destroyer of our country's wealth and our country's jobs. $800 billion a year. You actually say, who's making these deals? Who's making them? You look at deals that Mexico and other countries have with other countries, and the deals they have with us are always the worst deal. But that's going to change. That's going to change. We've got the professionals lined up, and these professionals, they know what they're doing. America has lost 1/3 of our manufacturing jobs since NAFTA. We've lost 70,000 factories. I always tell during this, for the last month, I've been talking about it. I always say it's a typo. You mean 700 factories. You mean 70 factories. 70,000 factories since China joined the World Trade Organization. Think of what 70,000 factories is. It's the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. No state has been hurt worse by our trade deals than the state of Michigan. That's why I knew I was going to win Michigan. That's why I knew I was going to win. No state. And it's the car industry, the automobile industry. But you watch, they're going to come roaring back. They're going to come roaring back, and you're going to be happy. You've lost more than 40% of your automobile jobs since NAFTA was approved. Think of it, 40%. And I'll tell you what, if I wasn't elected, 40%, you wish you had 40% in 2 years from now. You wish. It would have gotten much worse. Plenty of deals are going on. And, you know, we did a great job for Carrier with the help of Mike Pence. We did a great job, but you got to understand, we got to that table a little bit late. They already had built their factory in Mexico and lots of other things, and yet We saved a tremendous number of jobs. And the rest of those jobs, I mean, look, they have to be prepared, Carrier and everybody else, that when they make those air conditioners or whatever they're making, I think they're going to make pumps, not air conditioners. Was going to be air conditioners. We left them back here. But whatever they make, and other companies, they're going to have to pay a tremendous tax to get that product back into this country. The point is, the jobs that are gone, I think they'll be coming back soon, too. It used to be the cars were made in Flint, and you couldn't drink the water in Mexico. Now the cars are made in Mexico, and you can't drink the water in Flint. We're going to change that. And it would have been nice if I had a little help from your governor. It would have been real nice, right? Would have been nice if we had a little help from your governor. We're going to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, renegotiate NAFTA, stand up to foreign cheating, and fight for every last American job and every last job that belongs in Michigan. And if a company wants to fire their workers, leave Michigan for another country or anywhere else, and then ship their product back into our country, there will be consequences, folks. It's no longer going to be like we're people, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. Go ahead, fire everybody in Michigan or Indiana or Pennsylvania, fire everybody, build someplace else, and just sell back. No more. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. If we, it's not me, I'm a messenger. If we didn't come along, our country was going to be totally drained. There are thousands and thousands of companies right now that are negotiating to get out of our country because, well, for one reason, the taxes are too high. For another reason, the regulations. So even without doing what I'm doing at the border, and there is no 35% tax, you understand that. It's only if you leave is there a tax. There's no tax on our company. We're lowering taxes. But I don't think we're going to have to use that 35% very much because when we lower our taxes down to 15% or thereabouts, I hope I can get it down to that level, but nobody's going to leave. When we lower our regulations by probably 80%, 85%, these are regulations that they're a disaster for farmers, for manufacturers, for everybody. I also have an important announcement, and I'm going to make it tonight. You mind? We'll keep it low-key. We'll keep it very low-key. They're turning off some of the cameras because they're so honorable. But we have a great, great business leader with us tonight, one of the foremost leaders in manufacturing, one of the foremost leaders in the world of business, a man who cares greatly about this state and this country, even though he does happen to come from Australia. He's here with us this evening. He's done an incredible job. He's helped to build an unbelievable company. He's been the chairman and CEO of Dow Chemical for 13 years. One of the truly great companies, and it's based right here in Michigan. And he's staying here. He's staying. He's proud of Michigan. He's also a fantastic family man, just met his son, and someone committed to returning jobs to the United States of America. His name is Andrew Liveris, one of the most respected businessmen in the world, and I'm asking him to come up and head up our American Manufacturing Council, and he's agreed to do it. They will be tasked with finding ways to bring industry back to America. Industry and manufacturing back to America. And there's nobody can do it like Andrew. So, Andrew, please come up to the stage. Andrew.
Doesn't the president-elect sing music? It's music. It's Kid Rock. It's Detroit Motor City music. It's Michigan music. It's American music. I'm very proud to be here. We love him too, and we're very proud as a Michigan-based company we were founded here in Michigan, just up the road in Midland, in the Bay communities. We're global, but we've been expanding our operations here in Michigan. We've been expanding our operations in the United States. Over 7,000 jobs, factory jobs, construction jobs, technicians, engineers, service jobs. Invested over $7 billion in the last 4 or 5 years, and we aren't stopping there. We aren't stopping there. We're going to add value by getting this incredible workforce in front of me, this incredible American worker, this incredible Michigan worker, and we're going to put you all to work. We've got ideas and we've got plans. And tonight, in honor of the president-elect and his being here to thank you all, we've made a decision. We're going to invest a new state-of-the-art innovation center in Michigan. We're going to put an R&D center in place. This decision, this decision because of this man and these policies. We could have waited. We could have put it anywhere in the world. Several hundred jobs on top of the thousands. We aren't waiting. We're going ahead. We're going to use American hard work and American brains, and we're going to fight for the Dow company out of the USA. President-elect Trump, I can't tell you, I tingle with pride listening to you, but to honor me, to help you chair America Manufacturing Council, to put in place the investments that you talk about, you're paving the way with your administration, with your policies, to make it easier to do business in this country. Not a red tape country, but a red carpet country for American businesses. America first, as you said. That's what we have to do. And you can count on me and the business leaders that we'll put on this team. This will be America's finest and brightest to help us solve these problems that you all have. We need to employ our youth. We need to help all of our citizens. We need to give you hope. We need to find a way back to believe in ourselves again. As you rightly said, I may have a funny accent. We Aussies love America a lot. I bleed America, and I bleed Michigan. That's what I do. Thank you, sir. It's an honor. Let's make America great again by building great things in America.
Wow. So great. Thank you, Andrew. Wow. Isn't that great? That's what's going to happen, folks. We're going to get jobs. We're coming back, and we're going to come back to Michigan. We're going to come back to Pennsylvania, all these places. New York State. You see what's happened in New York State. We're going to bring them back. So I just want to thank Andrew. And Andrew's going to announce the names of the great business manufacturers, the best in the world. And he's setting up his council next week, and he'll announce them next week. And they will be, like him, the greatest leaders there are. So I want to thank Andrew and Dow Chemical. And that's really good news for Michigan. On the military, we will show the whole world that America is strong again. We will rebuild our badly depleted military and ensure that our service members have the equipment, training, technology, and resources that they need to get the job done and done correctly. But I always add, we're going to have the strongest military in the world, the most updated military in the world, and there's rarely been a time when we've needed it like this. But I always like to add, we will never have to use that power, I hope. We're building tremendous power, and hopefully we will never have to use that power. We believe in peace through strength. We will, however, get rid of ISIS. I'm sorry, we will get rid of ISIS. ISIS has to go. At the same time, we will ensure our veterans have the best medical care in the world. It's about time. And on health care, we will repeal and replace Obamacare. We're going to have health care that's much less expensive and will be much better, much stronger. The murder rate our country has experienced is the largest increase in 45 years. You don't hear that. We are going to support the incredible men and women of law enforcement, and we are going to bring this crime wave to an end. On immigration, we will build a great wall, and we will put an end to illegal immigration and stop the drugs from pouring into our country and poisoning our youth and many other people. Got to stop the drugs. And we're going to have people come into our country, hundreds of thousands of people. We want them to come in because we're going to have big, beautiful doors in that wall. But they're going to come in legally, through a process, legally. During this campaign, I had a chance to meet the amazing families of the Remembrance Project, parents whose children were killed by illegal immigrants. A Trump administration will end this long and horrible nightmare of violence. We will fight to protect every American life. During the campaign, I also spent time with American workers who were laid off and forced to train the foreign workers that were brought in to replace them. That's not going to happen anymore. Company that's out there right now, they say you're going to train the people that are going to replace you, and if you don't do it, you're not getting your severance pay, okay? Not going to happen to our people anymore, okay? One of my first executive orders will ask the Department of Labor to investigate all visa abuses that undermine jobs and wages for the American worker. To protect our country from terrorism and extremism, I will suspend immigration and refugee admissions from regions where they cannot be safely processed or vetted. We are going to have extreme vetting. We have no choice. We have enough problems, folks. We have enough problems. We will do everything in our power to keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. I have no choice. Thank you. Ethics reform will be a crucial part of our 100-day plan as well. We're going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. You will see. I will impose a 5-year ban on executive branch officials becoming lobbyists and a lifetime ban on officials becoming lobbyists for a foreign government. And since I've become sort of involved with costs, and as business people, we sort of understand that, I think that these people that give out these billions and billions and billions of dollars of contracts to companies should never, ever be allowed to leave and go to work with any of these companies, okay? No more. Got to be a lifetime ban. Then you wonder, why is it costing so much? Why are the cost overruns so high? And I could name so many different. You look at some of the fighter jets that are being built. You look at things that are happening. And I'm not just talking about the military. I'm talking about so many other purchases. When they purchase and when they're in charge of purchasing, they should never, ever during their lifetime be allowed to go to work for those companies. They just shouldn't be allowed to do it. And they're not going to be allowed to do it. So all of a sudden, they'll start negotiating a little bit harder, right? You know the game. Come to work with us. Come to work with us. Oh, let's finish this contract first. Oh, okay, he's going to really negotiate tough, right? We face many challenges, but this is truly an exciting time to be alive. And there's never been anything like what we've done. The script is not yet written. We do not know what the page will read tomorrow. But for the first time in many, many years, what we do know is that the pages will be authored by each and every one of you. The American people will be in charge. Your voice, your desires, your hopes and aspirations, you will never again fall on deaf ears. It won't happen. You saw what happened 3 weeks ago. It's not going to happen. People are paying attention to you now. They're paying attention. These people are talking about you every night. They never talked about you. They said, oh, they're not going to show up. They're talking about you again. We have sanity back. We have sanity back. You will be the captains of your destiny once more. Together, we will raise incomes and create millions and millions of new jobs. You watch Andrew and you watch his friends. You watch what's going to happen. We will lower taxes, unleash American energy, bring new companies to our shores, and stop the companies already here from viciously leaving. We will reestablish the rule of law and appoint justices to the Supreme Court of the United States who will uphold and defend our Constitution. We will heal our divisions and unify our country. And when Americans are unified, there is nothing we cannot do, no task too great, no dream too large, no goal beyond our reach. My message tonight is for all Americans, from all parties, all beliefs, all walks of life. No matter your age, your income, your background, your race, I am asking you to join this incredible movement, this movement that nobody has ever seen anything like it before. I am asking you to dream big and bold and daring things for your country and for yourself. I am asking you to believe in yourself, and I am asking you to believe once again in America. And if you do that, then all together, we will make America strong again. We will make America rich again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you. Michigan, thank you. God bless you, everybody. God bless you. Thank you.